Welcome to the Green Podcast. My name is Dylan Welch. I'm the CEO of green.org and Dylan Welch Media. Our goal with this podcast is to bring you the biggest names and leaders in renewable energy, clean technology, and sustainability so that you can stay up to date with the latest trends and everything that is happening in this world. Not only that, you'll get some action items for your life so that you can apply some amazing things and make your world a better place as well. Let's get the show started. Real quick, before we kick off this episode, I want to announce that we have our fall 2022 Green Summit in San Diego, September 17th. Tickets are now available, so get yours today. It's one day of different speakers in renewable energy, clean technology, sustainability, all leaders sharing their vision in TED Talk style presentations for what the world will look like with a more sustainable future. There's only 300 available seats for the event, and I know they're going quickly. There's already less than 300 by the recording of this. So go grab your ticket, green-summit.org, and let's kick off the episode. Thank you very much. And we're going to bring on our final guest of the day. Just give us 1 second here. We have Brenden Reed. So Brenden is the Director of Airport Planning and Environmental Affairs at the San Diego Airport, which is really cool, just right here in our backyard. And I love hearing kind of what Brenden is working on because it's, you know, the air and flying and, you know, plane industry is obviously so massive that there's a lot of things always happening when it comes to sustainability and clean tech. So Brenden, real quick, kind of tell us a little bit about your background and what you do at the San Diego Airport.
Sure. So I am the Director of Airport Planning and Environmental Affairs at the San Diego Airport Authority. So we're a public agency, which actually is kind of new. We were created in 2003 and by the state legislature. And our role is to operate the San Diego International Airport, and that's probably one of our biggest roles. We also are responsible for really the region's long-term aviation planning, and then we also have a role of working with local jurisdictions to make sure that they're doing the right thing around all 16 airports that we have in our county, both military and public use. So that's what the organization does. My team, I'm so lucky, I lead a team of about 27 professionals, and they're working every day on things at the airport like site and facilities planning, environmental sustainability, and compliance, and aircraft noise management. I think I've been in the industry now 20 years. It's kind of scary. Last 7 years have been at the Airport Authority. Before that, I was working in the region for local jurisdiction. So,
yeah, that's such a cool thing to be working on because you're really at the forefront of some like amazing innovation. And one great thing about San Diego is, you know, we're a pretty green city, I would say, in terms of, you know, around America and the rest of the world. What are some cool projects that you've been able to work on at the airport?
Yeah, and I've been really fortunate. Like I mentioned, I joined the Airport Authority team about 7 years ago. But even before I got here, we had a real strong legacy of sustainability leadership that I just got to build off of, which is an amazing starting point when you come to a new company. And one of the ways we've been able to do that is over the last almost 20 years that we've been in charge of San Diego International Airport, we've almost redeveloped all of it. And so we've been making significant capital investments, and we've been able to leverage those investments to really maximize sustainability opportunities and outcomes. So so far we got 10 LEED certified buildings, 3 of which are LEED Platinum. The rest are all LEED Gold. We right now have 5.5 megawatts of on-site solar, a 4 megawatt hour battery energy storage system, a 3 million gallon stormwater capture and reuse system. So, you know, these are not cheap things, and we've been able to really think long-term as far as the return on those investments. We're also, I think, especially in our industry, seen as a leader in the programs that we run. So we have a couple of them that are pretty unique. We have something called the Good Traveler program. It's a carbon offset program that tries to make it really easy, affordable, and meaningful for passengers to purchase offsets to help balance the impact of their travel. We started this program in San Diego when I kind of first got here, well, about 2016, and it's now expanded to 20 other airports in the US, as well as Alaska Airlines now uses the Good Traveler program for their carbon offsets. So it's something really cool to show what we've done here that really expands more broadly.
Yeah.
We've also, yeah.
No, sorry, go ahead. Continue, please.
Yeah, just another neat one is we've worked, again, kind of an industry leader with rideshare companies with like Uber and Lyft, where we've set up an incentive program where the more they use low carbon vehicles or do things that reduce the carbon intensity of their trips, they get a financial incentive. So, it's kind of that triple bottom line thinking of how to embed sustainability in everything we do.
Right. No, that's amazing. And I know every time I buy a flight with San Diego, they have that, would you like to offset your carbon? And I think that's amazing, honestly. And you guys do make it so easy to just click yes, and it takes care of it. And it does help. I know you guys recently launched a new project in Terminal 1 at the airport. So tell us a little bit about that, because that sounds really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. And certainly it's going to be probably one of the highlights of my career. It's a $3.4 billion investment in our campus. And really the cornerstone is replacing a very old Terminal 1. And I'm sure, Dylan, you've had to fly through there before. It's not pleasant. And replacing that with a much more modern, efficient, and comfortable facility. And some of the kind of sustainability sides of it all is just the project itself creates all these benefits. And it's kind of maybe a little aviation geeky type of benefits, but just how we're designing the facility and the airfield around the facility, planes will be able to get from our terminal building to the end of the runway and taking off and more efficiently, more quickly. And so that's a great thing for passengers, obviously. No one wants to be sitting on the plane on the ground. But it's also great things for local air quality and greenhouse gas emissions. Kind of more on the passenger side of things, the building is going to be really expanding our electric vehicle charging infrastructure. We'll probably have over 250 new charges just for passengers. Wow. We're also going to be doing things like dual plumbing the toilets in the terminal, so we can use stormwater, or at some point soon, something called Pure Water San Diego, which is going to be right next door to us, which is actually purified wastewater, just to be really more sustainable when it comes to water stewardship in a region that really doesn't get a lot of rain. And then I'd finally say, we're still doing the math, but we probably will be able to install another 4 megawatts of solar on site, as well as another 4 megawatt hours of battery energy storage. Wow. So really, really cool projects to be involved with.
Yeah, that's massive. I had no idea that you're totally redoing the whole terminal, but that's a huge project. Did COVID affect kind of the planning and building of this at all, or are you kind of powering through it? What was that like?
Yeah, and as COVID was tough for all of us, it was tough for a lot of industries. It certainly hit travel very significantly. It was a rough couple of years, but it's really interesting during the pandemic and when it hit. I think we were able to really show and demonstrate past sustainability investments we made were paying off during that period. And one of them that comes to mind is, as part of one of our LEED Platinum projects, we put very high performing HVAC systems into our facilities, to our terminal, in Terminal 2. And so that has, filtration that is almost at a hospital inpatient care level of filtration, and as well as using UV light sterilize against bacteria and virus. So, we did that years ago as a sustainability, energy efficiency, LEED Platinum type of reasoning to do it. But we thought, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is exactly what we need when we have an issue like COVID, which is an airborne virus that we're dealing with. So it's in some ways, it really, I think, emboldened us to double down on sustainability and resilience even more with the new terminal. And then I probably say the kind of the biggest thing, and it's kind of a no duh kind of thing, but you know, the the COVID and the pandemic and responding to it was a lot about space, right? Having more space between us, social distancing. Well, the new terminal is going to be 4 times bigger than the existing terminal.
Wow.
So it's going to be 1.2 million square feet. So that just provides us so much more flexibility to give our passengers a little breathing room, if you will. We're not cramped like this in the waiting areas by the gates or at the bar trying to get a beer before we fly or in the restrooms. So I think even just something as simple that will be really beneficial. Knock on wood, we never have another pandemic, but certainly something we're going to be better prepared for.
Right. No, that's amazing. I'm excited to watch that project roll out. And yeah, I'm just thinking the times I've sat at that bar drinking beer, it can get pretty busy in there. So that'll be nice.
Yes.
I've really enjoyed this Green Summit because we've had so many leaders in different industries, solar, electric vehicles, and everything in between, business, health, finance. So I really enjoy, just kind of staying in like up to date with the aviation industry. What trends are you seeing in the aviation industry in general and sort of the sustainable space? And where do you kind of see it going in the next 5-10 years, would you say?
Yeah, and I'm really fortunate. I'm able to have a couple of leadership roles in our industry, and I'll just talk about them so there's some context. I'm part of the Environmental Affairs Committee leadership team for something we call Airport Council International. So that's an industry group really worldwide. And then I also get to co-chair another industry group's Advanced Air Mobility Working Group. And so that's when we get into kind of the flying Ubers, as people call it, these electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. So sort of through those things, some things that we've worked on and are continuing to work on, I think really not surprising now is all about decarbonizing the aviation industry. And, as I was able to be involved in getting actually that Airport Council and International group to adopt a commitment to reach zero net emissions by 2050. And some of the ways we're doing it are some of the things on site that I already mentioned: ground transportation, electrification, obviously lots of solar and renewables. And I'll mention right now, the airport authority, the San Diego International Airport, operates on 100% clean electricity, both on site as well as through grid delivered renewable electricity. So something we're very proud of. But we're also working with airlines, because when we look at our carbon footprint, it's really about the aircraft. So something more near term, I'd say, is a switch to sustainable aviation fuel. Mm-hmm. And it's the reason it's kind of the holy grail, at least in the near and midterm, is because it's a drop-in fuel. And so it's a biofuel that can be made from waste products, just kind of like renewable diesel. You can drop it into a Boeing 787 and don't have to do anything else to convert the aircraft. So we've actually been working a lot at the state level to change the low carbon fuel standard we have in California. So there's actually incentives to produce sustainable aviation fuel. So, knock on wood, we should be seeing more of what we call SAF starting to be delivered throughout the region, and hopefully at San Diego International Airport in the next couple of years. I think kind of more long-term, you'll start seeing, again, more electric aircraft. They're going to be small to begin with, just because of the weight issues with batteries. Aircraft want to be pretty light. And then I think kind of further out, we're starting to see a horizon that could have hydrogen, liquid hydrogen being used in aviation. And that probably has more of a likelihood of someday powering larger commercial aircraft.
Yeah.
So it's always an exciting time in the industry. And we're really fortunate. We have a lot of thought leaders that I can call at any point, and we really share a lot of the best practices between different airports.
That's cool. And I always kind of pay attention to like electric vehicle startup companies, especially in the aviation space. And there's some that are making really amazing progress.
Yeah.
Are there any companies that you are kind of, like recommend we should just sort of keep on, on our radar as far as sort of moving the needle when it comes to um, EVs and
Yeah.
aviation?
Yes, some of the ones that you might have heard about, because they've actually been very successful with raising money. There's Joby Aviation. They're the ones who actually kind of bought Uber Air. So they're tied in, I would say, to kind of the Uber family. There's Whisk Aviation and Archer Aviation.
Mm-hmm.
So those companies, we're really engaged a lot with right now. Most of them are in some level of actually getting their aircraft certified from by the FAA.
Mm-hmm.
And so the last estimates that I've seen is that probably in 2024, not that too far away, they'll have certified aircraft, and you'll start maybe seeing some of them piloting some sort of commercial service level. So it's interesting. They're also, I would say, maybe kind of pursuing different business models. Some of them really want to be kind of an Uber of the air. Some of them are more partnering with traditional airlines and maybe using these smaller aircraft for more commuter type of trips or regional trips in an aircraft. So yeah, it's a really exciting, and probably, one of the best parts of it all is we kind of talked about, they're all electric.
Yeah.
And so, that's amazing, but it has to be tied to a facility like San Diego International Airport, where we're using 100% renewable electricity to charge that all-electric aircraft, because or else you're not getting all of the benefits.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why it's so cool to be in San Diego and to be able to watch this, the new terminal come together, because as that's happening, these other aviation companies will be making progress. And then when it all comes together in, a couple of years, hopefully it works out. And it sounds like it is, honestly. I mean, just based on, the rate everything is moving forward. So that's exciting. You're in a very cool place to be in, and congratulations on that huge project. That must be really exciting to be a part of.
It was. I was involved in the initial planning of it and getting all the environmental permit for it. And if anyone knows California, that's actually quite an experience. But it really has contributed to making the project at the end of the day. I mean, it's going to be a showcase in our region, and I think in the industry, for sustainability and resilience. And I'm just so proud for San Diego to have that, because it's a community that I love, I live in, and it's awesome.
It is cool. Brenden, first off, I want to thank you for being here. I was really excited when you said you're open to being on the panel of the Green Summit. Let's kind of leave, because this is the last presentation of the summit. What's one thing that, we can kind of share with our audience, a little call to action that you would like to give to, everybody that we can take away and go apply to our lives as we move forward?
Yeah, I that's a great question, and no pressure. Closing out your summit, I would say one thing is to not give up hope. And you read the news. I mean, you watch the news, you read the news, world affairs, the state of our planet. It can be really depressing. But I can tell you, I have so much hope because I get to work on things every day that I think make our world more sustainable, and they're really tangible. And so I get to see, and I think it fills me with hope that, I think there's a path forward. I think there's a lot of people with commitment. And I have to say, I get to also work with some young professionals at the airport authority that they have so much passion and innovation. It really, we just got to keep our eye on the end goal. And I think with hope and hard work, we'll get there.
Yeah, I think honestly, that is a great answer to wrap this up, because that was the whole goal of this Green Summit, is to bring on leaders and experts like you to not just share the doom and gloom, bad news, but also share the positive, good things that are happening in the world. So, Brenden, thank you so much for being here. 6 months from now, it's going to be in person. Luckily, we're pretty close,
Yeah.
15, 20 minutes away from each other. So we'll have to have you there. Maybe we can
Love
bring,
it.
some cool Archer helicopters or something on location too. But seriously, thank you so much for sharing, and appreciate you being here today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Of course. And if anyone is interested in get in contact with Brenden, we'll share all of his information in a follow-up email. And with that, we are wrapping up the Green Summit. First off, I want to thank everyone who attended, who commented, who shared, who took part in the polls, or just, sat there and just listened. It means the world to us. We put a lot of time and effort into this. I want to thank all of our panelists who brought some amazing information. I want to thank all of our sponsors. Please, when you get that follow-up email, show them some love in any way you can. And if you're interested, you can always donate to the Green Summit, green.org. That supports us. There's a huge team of people working behind the scenes to make this all come together. So with that, I want to thank everyone. Have a great weekend, a great rest of your day. 6 months from now, we'll be having our next Green Summit in person in San Diego. We hope to see you there. My name is Dylan Welch. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. And until then, we'll see you at the next Green Summit. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for tuning into the episode. My name is Dylan Welch. Appreciate it. As always, stay up to date with the latest information on green.org and dylanwelch.com. Dylan Welch Media is a full-service media and communications agency dedicated to promoting, marketing, and helping businesses in clean tech, renewable energy, and sustainability grow, get more clients, get more customers, get in front of their ideal clientele. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out. If you're interested in joining the Green Summit, go to www.green-summit.org. Reserve your ticket today. There's very few spots left, so make sure you get on that ASAP. Thank you and have a great rest of your day.